Yates, and this is the Incongruous channel. And I'm here to announce the publication of my second book in the sci-fi series, Cosa Negra Ii. So the series is called Cosa Negra, and the second one is called Cosa Negra Ii. Now, when I'm advertising it kind of as Agatha Christie meets Extra Terrestrials. Well, what does that mean? What's that about? Well, what I realized, because when you categorize a book, you have to put it in like it's either sci-fi or it's murder mystery, it's action adventure. You've seen those kind of things, I'm sure. But this one, you can't squeeze it into sci-fi because it's more than that. And let me explain. It's not just sci-fi because it also contains action and adventure. It also contains mysteries. It also contains that kind of Agatha Christie learning clues as you go along. As I've been through the second book and I'm editing it, I'm thinking, well, this is just like walking through a whodunit in many ways. Because what you're doing is you're running, you're learning along with the research team. So the books are about a research team who learn more and more about a threat to the planet, and then learn that there are aliens involved, and then learn that there are other groups involved. And then as they go through it, they learn more. So the reader walks along, if you like, alongside the researchers and learns more and learns about the plot. And then you start to project forward. You start to wonder, well, what's happening with this and what's this is about? And it's all explained over time. Now, obviously, they go down blind alleys. They go down in this direction. They think, oh, this is where it's going. And then they realize it's not. So they come back and go a different direction. Very exciting. Very interesting. In Cosa Negra 2, there's a kidnapping, dead bodies, aliens I've mentioned, a dark group that's behind it, which is consistent all the way through the book. All kinds of things going on, plus the aliens. There's two groups of aliens. There's an advanced set of aliens, which are, if you like, aliens that have kind of evolved within the last, I don't know, billion years, half a billion years. Then there are hyper advanced aliens, which have evolved maybe over 5 billion years. Because why not? In a universe that's around for 13.7 billion years, why not? A planet being in the Goldilocks zone, not too hot, too cold, blah, 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 blah. Being able to support the evolution of a particular life. And then what do they do for 5 billion years as they keep evolving? Well, they may evolve into a different form altogether. Because we get stuck, do we not, in the idea that aliens are kind of like men dressed in boiler suits with funny hats on, or heads, right? Because that's what we see in Star Wars, Star Trek, that kind of thing. Well, this is not like that. These aliens are nothing like humans. Nothing like humanoids. And they don't think like humanoids either. So that's part of the excitement. That's part of the interest. That's part of the plot of this book. There is exotic locations. There is different travel and different kind of things. It's British, basically, because it's based in Northamptonshire, where I live. It's got a lot of cultural values, but it also examines those questions about technology, examines those things. Because the point is, instead of having made up stuff like ray guns and warp drives and teleportation and stuff like this, there's none of that. It's all about what would we, you and I, humans, right? What would we do if aliens came down to the earth right now? They weren't humanoid. They don't think like humans. They maybe don't even have emotions. How would we, with our current technology, our current thinking, how would we deal with them in an appropriate way? Then you got to ask the question, well, are they a threat? And all of these are questions that you, the reader, gets as you read this book. So let me explain. If you want to get the book, there's a link below to it. If you go into Amazon and put in Dr. Andy Yates, you'll see all my books, and they've all got reasonable descriptions and so on, and a YouTube which expands their understanding. All my YouTubes are less than 20 minutes, so it won't take you long. Or you could put Cosa Negra into Amazon or whatever. Eventually that'll get out to Google, and you'll be able to do it in Google. But at the moment, I recommend you go to Amazon and just put in Dr. Andy Yates, and you'll see them all. You will also see that Cosa Negra, the first book, and Cosa Negra II, the second book, I knew this was going to happen. My dog is now decided, oh, we're doing something strange. She's going to wander about. So excuse the noise. That's me. That's my house. Anyway, so you will see that there's a series of 2 books. That's eventually going to be 3. Now, Cosa Negra 3, which I'm currently writing, I think I'm on chapter 5. And obviously it's a process where you rewrite. But it's already on its way. This is not going to be something like one of those Netflix series that you see that it says one series and you watch it and it's really interesting and it gets to the end of the series and then there isn't another one. And you don't know what's going to happen. You've got involved with the characters, involved with the plot. No. This is going to go to a hard slam bang cracking ending. Because Cosa Negra 2 ends with a WTF moment, if you know what that means, and if you don't, read the book. It's really good. And Cosa Negra 3 will end the whole story in a sense, which is really cool, which is what you want from a book. You want a solid end. Well, I do. What you want for a solid ending where, you know, here it is. That's the story. That's been told now, this story. Of course, I'm going to leave a tiny little hook in there just in case there's a sequel. But it's a complete story, end to end. You watch the characters grow. You watch their relationships grow. You watch the intelligent research they do, the analysis, the science that they use grow, human science right now, what we've got right now. You watch that grow, their usage of it grow as they learn more and more and more about this potential threat. And then learn, is it a threat or is it not? Or is it more complicated than that? Because it is, I tell you, it is more complicated than that. But you, as an adventurer, as the reader, as part of that research team, join along with that process and learn as you go along and that sort of thing. It's all there. Cosa Negra 2. And I don't want to go on about this because, as I said, if you go into Amazon, put Dr. Andy Yates in there, you can see all my books in there. Don't forget, my editor, who's accredited on this book as the editor, Dr. Heather Yates, also has a book out there, so you might want to take a look at that. They're a little bit more in the new age, inspirational, self-motivational, self-help type books. I've got a couple of those. They're out there as well. But Cosa Negra 2 is a continued story from Cosa Negra 1. Same characters, same growing plot that will be terminated in Cosa Negra 3, which will be out within a few months. Got it? Got it. All right. Link is below. If that's a problem, put Dr. Andy Yates into Amazon. You'll see it. It's in both Kindle and paperback. It's cheap. It's not expensive. That's not my idea. My idea is that for people to enjoy it. It is complex. It is detailed. It is tried to cover every base and make it as scientifically accurate as I can, but it is fiction. So, you know, if I've got something wrong, then I'm going to say, oh, well, that's the fiction bit. No. I've written it. I've really tried to make it something that you and I, could use the current technology to resolve the problem with the aliens. And more to the point, to resolve the problem with the humans that are involved, because that really is the problem, is the humans, not the aliens. The aliens are a huge threat because they don't think like we do. But then there are humans that don't think like you and I do. Normal humans, right? Sociopathic, psychopathic type things. Plenty of that in the book. Cosa Negra 2, Amazon, put in Dr. Andy Yates, or click the link below. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. There you go. This is Dr. Andy Yates on the Incongruous channel. Please take care.